Can I just touch on one thing before we go?
Go on.
Just over the years, actually I probably won't go into that.
Well, that was our guest on the local locker room last week, Danny Cassette, who's played for just about every club going around. Just left us hanging at the end. We just didn't quite know where he was going to go. I don't know whether Danny will be listening in today, whether he might want to finish off that sentence. But welcome to the local locker room. I think we're into our fifth or sixth week and just talking plenty of local footy, all the rumours, our local legend series. We often catch up with an ex-AFL player who's going back into local footy ranks. Of course, last week we caught up with ex-Carlton captain Lance Whitnell, discussing the Glenroy Football Club in their quest for premiership glory, his first assignment as a coach. Lance, a lot of talk during the week surrounding the closing comments, as we said there, the journeyman Danny Cassette, who is our local legend. This week we're going to be joined by EFL legends Fish and Geordie. They're out of the Donvale Football Club, of course, one of the strong clubs in the Eastern Football League. Wayne Fuller will be chatting about his journey around local footy, getting to about 60-odd games across Victoria each season. He's done that for the past 20-odd years. Well, also today, a real treat here on the local locker room, catch up with Collingwood superstar Dane Swan. So I'll tell you more about his involvement in Blue Moon Racing and his aspiration of a Group 1 winner and how he sees the local footy community jumping on board for the ride. Great to welcome my co-host from sportsupport.com.au, helping lots of local footy clubs, Ben Charles. Good to see you, Benny.
Yeah, great to be here, Brad. And I can tell you that from every corner of the local footy world this week, I've heard, did you know what Danny was about to say? And I'm here today to tell you that, no, I didn't. I had no idea what he was about to say, but I'd love to hear what everybody did think about it. So there's an SMS competition that we're running.
Okay, that number, of course, is 0433 98 11 16 on the SMS, and the best text message, we've got a prize. Nice $500 merchandise voucher for the club of your choice. So lots of people listening out there involved in local footy clubs, so we're prepared to give a nice prize to your club. We'll announce the winner at the end of the show, so if you maybe know what Danny was going to say to us, let us know. Merchandise, Ben, of course, such a big part of any club's income out there. I know a lot of the clubs are getting pretty organised now. Late February, sorting out apparel for 2014. Sponsorship, general outlook at this time of the year. Generally, a club volunteer is pretty frenetically trying to match the players' sizes, merchandise styles, club sponsors coming in late and make sure they're on the jumpers and so forth. Obviously dealing with a number of different suppliers, methods to actually pull it all together. It's a pretty big minefield out there and a fairly painful task. But you've got a good solution for us.
No, certainly do, Brett. So, about 4 years ago, we developed Sports Support off-field apparel, which has been a massive benefit to a number of clubs across Melbourne. And look, basically, we just take the stress out of organising all the merchandise by visiting the club. We've got a complete range of styles, colours, options, a whole range of things that are going to be available for the clubs. We sit down with the clubs, we figure out a little bit of a sales strategy for them, and we sort of organise the whole lot from one point of contact, which is great.
And the turnaround for clubs who are looking to sort of, maybe place some orders in the next week or so?
Yeah, we know that at this time of year, clubs are pretty strapped for cash, and we know that we've got to turn things around pretty quickly. So 7 to 10 days for local garments, 5 to 6 weeks for offshore production. We sit down with the clubs, as we said, and we work out a bit of a buying plan to assist them and sort of help them with their cash flow.
Okay. Now, Sports Support, Benny's also got a $200 cashback program. That's in place for 2014.
Yeah, and it's actually a $2,000 cashback program. So, if you can buy a whole range of things, and you can actually have a look at that on the Sports Support website. So if you just go to www.sportsupport.com.au, click on the promotional tile, and you'll be able to see how we can give back to clubs that help us.
Okay, so 2,000. Let's add that important extra zero in there. That's a good value. What about the prices in general?
Oh, look, all the prices are up on the website. So you can just go to the merchandise tile, you click on there, it'll have all the prices and availability, and I'm certain we can find a way to find a solution for the clubs.
All right. Now, the local locker room audience, you out there who have been terrific in your responses over the last 5 weeks on the SMS, calling in, of course, being part of the Facebook page as well with lots of footy discussion. does have a chance to become a Metro Footy selector over the next 3 weeks. Now, with the support of AFL Victoria, the local locker room is going to be compiling the Hall of Fame, Ben, from the last 15 years. Let's just give our listeners a bit more info on this. Yeah,
well, over the past 3 or 4 weeks, the Victorian Metro Championships have serviced quite a few times. So we made contact with Grant Williams, who's the CEO of AFL Victoria, during the week, and we said we'd love to get involved and help promote through the vehicle that we have here, the local locker room. I suppose what we've done is we've shortlisted a range of names throughout all of the 6 competitions, and we're going to have them weekly over the next 3 weeks in order that they'll be playing against each other. So this week it's Southern Footy League and Western Region Footy League time, and we'll have the top 10 champions from our slews and a whole heap of other sort of sources that we've been able to put together. Mm-hmm. And this is the chance for the listeners to jump onto our Facebook page and they can vote for their top 3.
All right, so you just need to head to sportsupport.com.au. That's where the voting is going to occur. You just click on the Facebook tile, vote for your top 3 in the comments section, and together with our Twitter account at SportSupport10, that's the Twitter account, SportSupport10, we'll be compiling the 18 Locker Room Hall of Fame members from right across the Metro Footy area. The winners are going to be announced the following week. The top 3 will be guests of AFL Victoria at the upcoming Metro Championships, which is March 29, which I think is fantastic, and I've been involved a little bit just in learning about this concept, and I know it was discussed around local footy circles last year with all the leagues playing on the one day at Visy Park, Carlton's home ground. You can join, of course, the local locker room Hall of Fame. Now, we're just going to chat to a few of our sleuths today. Evo, of course, looks after the Western Region Football League to look at the top 10 out west. Welcome to you, Evo.
Good morning, boys.
Morning, mate.
Nice to talk to you. Afternoon, even, Evo. We have ticked past 1. Have you just got out of the bed?
No, mate, I'm actually at a fundraising function as we speak, so it's been going very slowly.
Now, take us through the top 10 of the WRFL.
All right, I'll just go from 1 to 10, or just, the 1 to 10 list at the moment. So we've got Michael Frost, who was a Hoppers Crossing player and a Yarraville player. Andrew Venner, which was also Hoppers Crossing, but most of his time was at Altona. Chris O'Keefe, which is a Spotswood legend. Danny Jacobs, Port Colts. Brad Julia from Port Colts. Timmy Jenkins from St Albans. Bobby Evans from Seddon Yarraville. Lockie McGee from Spotswood, Jason Bettina from Albion, and Sami Sir, who was from Parkside. So they're the top 10 finalists.
You talk about Michael Frost there. He's a name that sort of pops up quite a bit whenever you talk to somebody around the WRFL. What can you tell us about Frosty?
He's pretty much a league legend. I was lucky enough myself to play a few games in Werribee in the VFL, and he was just, even there, he was a machine. His fitness was unparalleled. He come back to local football and just tore it a new one, so to speak. I think he won a couple of comp medals and a couple of grand final and premierships, and basically he set the scene very, very early on when he come and played local footy for both Yarraville and Hoppers Crossing, and it just didn't. And I don't think it's been surpassed ever since. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't make the top 3 in my eyes.
And Lockie McGee, that seems to be a familiar name. We did speak to a WRFL local legend when we had Kevin Healy on. Any relation to Bones McGee?
Yes, it's the son of Bones McGee, and Lockie McGee's just a very high-profile ruckman down here for Spotswood. So I think he's played in 5 or 6 of the Spotswood 7 grand final appearances over the last 10 years or 9 years, whatever it is. So he's definitely been, between him and Brad Julian, definitely been the 2 dominant ruckmen in the competition over the last 10 to 15 years for sure.
All right, great stuff, Evo. Nice to chat to you, and we'll keep an eye on the top 10. Of course, you can vote for your top 3. We'll continue to give those details out through the show. Enjoy your Sunday.
No worries, guys. Have a good one.
There's our sleuth out there at the Western Region Football League. We go full name when it comes to SFL, because this man, we're going to talk to him in a little bit more depth a little bit later on in the program. But Wayne Fuller is our SFL insider. Southern Football League, of course. Great league. Great clubs in the Southern Footy League. G'day, Wayne.
Afternoon, Brett and Ben. How are we?
Well, thanks, mate.
Very good indeed, Wayne. People are going to be voting for the top 3 in the SFL, but take us through the 10 names.
Yeah, a bit of a tough task to do this, so I sat down and done my top 10, and it goes Luke James from St Paul's.
Good player.
Good player. Ash Roberts, Chelsea Heights, a former Frankston captain. Chris Phelan from St Kilda City, a prolific on ball and a comp medal winner. Sam Crenage, who played at ball and who used to be in our league, was a very good player. Miles Quinn, the ruckman from St Kilda City, who was a standout player as well. Dean Williamson from East Brighton, the 4-time best and fairest winner for his club. Ezra Poyas, comp medal winner from St Kilda City. Ryan Flack, a stalwart of the league who's gone on to coach in another league this year. Danny Cassette gets in. We all know Danny, and from St Kilda City when he was playing there, and Heath Barnes from St Paul's.
There's some good names. The Ezra Poyas one, you think back to his journey, which didn't quite take off at AFL level, Wayne, but obviously he's gone back like so many and made a great contribution at a tier down, or a couple of tiers down.
Fantastic having Ezra in the league, and he's just a prime mover, fantastic skills, and they're the sort of players we go and watch on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. And Heath Barnes is a name that always seems to pop up as well.
Heath Barnes, a great stalwart, premiership captain at St Paul's, and a great leader and good servant there, and everyone knows Heath Barnes through our competition and been a very good player in his time.
You did have a little bit of support from SEN's very own, I think, putting this list together. Can you tell us about that, Wayne?
Yes. Brett Anderson from Cheltenham Football Club and SEN and Inside Football gave me a chop out to do this, because it's quite hard when you look back for the last 10, maybe 15 years, all the good players we've had in the league. So that's the best we could do.
As they say in the Academy Awards, the nomination is just enough itself, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Wayne, thank you for that. We're going to talk to you in a little bit more depth after the break, so stick around. But that is the SFL, the top 10, and you can vote for your top 3. So there's a couple of examples of the Hall of Fame right across some of the local footy leagues as we build up, Benny, to the Metro Championships, which is a great day for local footy fans to get out. March 29 at Visy Park. I think there's how many games on that day? I think there's 3 games.
There will be 3 games on there. So they're scheduled that the Western Region will play against the Southern Footy League in the morning. Northern Football League will play against the EDFL in the middle game, and then the Eastern Football League will be taking on the amateurs in the last game. So we'll be touching on this over the next 3 or 4 weeks. We'll really be speaking to as many people as we can. We'll have the coaches on. I just think it's unbelievable for Metro Footy to actually have a competition similar to what the country footy's had for quite some time.
Yeah, it's a great concept. No, it's been talked about and been put on the table for a little while, and great to see it's got off the ground. We'll take a break here on the local locker room. Dane Swan, the Collingwood champ, is going to join us very shortly amongst some other guests. Just one on the SMS. Glenorden, who won the Division 2 WRFL Premiership last season, have lost 14 of their Premiership team, plus a senior reserve and under-18 coach. Money can't buy happiness. That's from Priesty out there at Manor Lakes. Yeah, lots of stories like that in local footy. The turnover is amazing, and you can't take it for granted. I know, being involved in a local footy club, that everyone is just going to come back the next year. It's a big job recruiting for your footy club out there.
It is, and retention's just as big as well, bro.
18 past 1, the local locker room here in 1116 SEN.
Hungry for Sport with Kevin Bartlett.
Big week on the program. The highlight was Patrick Smith and Danny Frawley going head-to-head.
The really only public vision we get of you is on that TV show, where it's a good fun. I accept all of that. There's not a lot of gravitas in that show that would reflect on the CEO of the coaches.
That's a completely different argument what we're having.
No, I agree with that. I'm asking you.
Look, I would have thought I can divorce the two quite easily. Patrick, if you can't, well, that's probably your cup of tea.
I'll catch you on Monday with all the latest from the weekend of sport, with hopefully Mark Allen taking out the Victorian Open. Go Marco!
Hungry for Sport with Kevin Bartlett for the new Zenon Dual Cab 4x4. Made tough in India, made perfect for Australia. 9 till midday weekdays on 1116 SEN. Melbourne's home of sports.
Spicer Thoroughbreds, a proven source of Group 1 winners.
Come on in, Joel. Ollie for the 5th time wins it.
The billionaire, courtesy of the Rails Run, comes on and wins the derby.
They're not going to get him. Star Spangled Banner all the way.
Join the Group 1 combination of Spicer Thoroughbreds and Peter Snowden in racing a blue blood colt by More Than Ready out of the winning Fastnet Rock mare, Miss O'Brien, surely bred to be a future champion. For information on the colt, go to spicerthoroughbreds.com.au. Spicer Thoroughbreds, your path to Group 1 glory.
Are they there yet?
No.
Are they there yet?
No.
Are they there yet?
I said no.
Are they there yet?
If you ask me one more time...
Everyone's excited. The 2014 Select Official AFL Champions collector cards hit the shelves at newsagents and 7-Eleven on March 3. Download the Select Official AFL iPhone and iPads app and bring your cards to life. Collect Select in 2014.
Can I download the app then?
Not until March 3.
Tobin Brothers Funerals has become one of Australia's largest and most respected family-owned funeral companies, and this year it's celebrating a milestone: 80 years in business. Over the years, Tobin Brothers Funerals has developed experience and expertise in the funeral customs of numerous faiths and cultures, and today provides service and care to a broad spectrum of Melbourne's multicultural community. Experience the Tobin Brothers difference. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, Ian Molly-Meldrum here. I'm a patron of Kids Undercover.
Have you bought a new car, or do you have an old car sitting in your driveway?
Now is the time to donate your old or unwanted car to Kids Undercover.
100% of the proceeds from the sale of your car will go towards preventing youth homelessness. All car donations are now tax deductible, no matter what condition the car is in. It's simple and it's free.
Just visit donateyourcar.org.au or call 1-800-801-633.
I need 4 extra trucks on the road tomorrow.
I need a crane truck on site for the next 3 months.
I've got a shipment coming in next week and I need extra warehouse space.
Whatever you need, Transworks Transport and Logistics Solutions can work for you. From delivery vans, specialised rolling stock, as well as warehousing and third-party logistic management, Transworks can source and manage a solution for you. Transworks Transport and Logistics works for me. Find out more at tranzworks.com.au.
18 games in 18 days. The 2014 NAB Challenge is underway on 1116 SEN, Melbourne's home of footy.
Which players will stand out in 2014? Do you have what it takes? Victoria Police is recruiting PSOs now. Google Victoria Police Careers.
On 1116 SEN, you're listening to Sunday Sports Central with Brett Phillips.
And you are listening to the local locker room just after 1 o'clock on a Sunday with Ben Charles with me in the studio from sportsupport.com.au. Log on and he will be more than happy to help every footy club around as preparations now go into full swing. I know my to-do list is massive, Ben, at the moment. So clubs, trying to get their season started, which are all about sort of late March, early April. Coming up very shortly, we're going to be joined by Collingwood superstar Dane Swan to find out a little bit more about how he and Dale Thomas, his former Collingwood teammate, are united in their effort to chase Group 1 racing glory. And the boys are actually planning to make the local footy community part of that journey via Blue Moon Racing. So we're going to tell you more about that in just a few moments. Also, a couple of EFL legends, Fish and Geordie out there at Donvale Football Club, are going to join us for Week 5 of the Local Legend Series, which I've really enjoyed, actually, because you talk to the ex-AFL guys and that's fantastic, but to talk to the guys who have just played local footy, their stories,
I think some of those stories
sensational.
Those stories that come from the 90s or the early 2000s where there was a lot more, I suppose, club loyalty that was involved. They're fantastic. I could listen to them all day.
No doubt. Now, Wayne Fuller joined us just with the top 10 from the Southern Footy League just before the break. But we're going to have more of an in-depth chat with Wayne because he's been our sleuth coming on just with some rumours each week. But we wanted to get him on for a more extensive chat just to provide some more insight into the SFL for us on a regular basis. But not only does Wayne know about the SFL, he attends over 60 games a year right across Victoria, heading to any game that may be available for him to watch from right across the state. It's with great pleasure that we welcome Wayne back because we only talked to you briefly, Wayne, but we wanted to extend the footy chat to you today, so thanks for joining us.
Yep, no worries.
Top 10 earlier in the show, it's really become the Wayne Fuller Show today.
Yes.
It really is. Wayne, can you tell us how long you've been attending these games and just how you go about it?
I've been doing it probably for the last 15 to 20 years, and each year the league send out the footy records at the start of the season for me. I get up on the website and look up the fixtures, and I do myself a calendar, and I just work the Friday night games, the Saturday and the Sunday games, and the long weekend games, and off I go.
And you travel to the remotest part of Victoria, is that right?
Yeah, I do the Ovens and Murray, Goulburn Valley League up that way, and the Geelong League, obviously, and done South Australia a couple of times over in the Sandful, so sort of get out and about.
So this is just your pure passion for the game, Wayne, to get out and see.
It was always just a passion of mine. Yep. Just enjoy watching, as we say, grassroots football, and probably getting around and watching all the different leagues and the ex-AFL players running around, and just enjoy it.
How many games? Have you kept count exactly, or do you know ballpark?
You have to be over the 1,000 at least, I think.
Got to get a banner for one.
Yeah, quite enjoy it. So it goes all the way till the Goulburn Valley Grand Final, and then if I haven't had me fix after that, I'd jump on a plane or I'd drive over to Adelaide and watch the Sandford Grand Final. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, quite enjoy it.
Yeah, can you tell us over those 2 decades what you think has been the biggest change at a local level?
I reckon the biggest change is obviously the money's obviously crept in now, and as we mentioned before, the player loyalty sort of changed. A lot of players seem to go each year from club to club, and I think the money's crept in quite a bit now.
And do you think that's increased, I suppose, the level, or do you?
I think it's made a lot of local leagues a lot stronger, especially the ex-AFL footballers coming back to grassroots football, and that's been good. I'm all for that. So. It's made all the leagues a little bit stronger.
It's a fine balance, isn't it, Wayne? Because you need some of those draw cards. I mean, I know how tough it is. I mean, for every club, financially running your local footy club is probably the biggest challenge that committees have. But it's that balance of not wanting to pay too much that you've got to go and do some extraordinary fundraising at times to try and actually pay these sort of bills.
That's right. You've got to rely on your bar facilities, your crowds, your hamburgers you're selling, sponsorship, and a lot of clubs, as you know, Brett, at your club, at times are tough when you've got to try and keep getting sponsors year after year. So.
Absolutely. Now, we've been talking about the Metro Champs. I reckon it's a great concept. Visy Park, March 29. The matchups with the different leagues. I'm not sure how that final decision was made, Wayne, but do you reckon they're pretty good matchups and we'll see some decent games?
Yep, I'm all for it. And obviously, with the Southern, we're playing the Western region, and we've got our squad down to 40 now, and we've been training for the last couple of months, and we're out actually to win it. So all the boys are serious. The league's right behind us all, and hopefully we can win on the day.
And I suppose over the journey, you would have seen some handy players in your time, mate. Which players have been the standouts for you?
Obviously, the standout players going back a while. Brendan Long from Frankston YCW, good player. Craig Anderson still running around out at Noble Park, a good player. I got to see Paul Corrigan down at South Barwon run around. Kay Carey out in the Essendon League. Obviously, Paul Newman, captain of Kyabram up in the Goulburn Valley. And then you've got your Justin Berries, your Sards, your Simon Goosey's, Danny Cassette, those sort of players, and just see a whole lot of good footballers.
And which one's the number one? Which one's the star on the top of the Christmas tree, mate?
That's everyone asked me that, and I'd probably, I've always been a big Justin Berry fan, so I'd probably stick with Justin, I think. So that's a question I get asked every time I go to local footy.
Wayne, I must say I do try and catch the local footy show on Channel 31 as often as I can. I enjoy a bit of the banter. Daryl Pittman, Benny and Daryl are on there as well. Am I right in saying I might not have tuned in for a little while, or I might have just missed it? Is there actually a segment on you?
Yeah, he's done. Ian and Benny did Daryl did a segment on me a couple of years ago, and if you look up on the local footy show, you'll see Where's Wayne in one of the segments somewhere. So everywhere I go, I seem to run into them.
Well, make sure you come down to Edinburgh Reserve this year, mate. We'll find a nice seat for you in the grandstand and a little bit of hospitality.
Okay, no worries.
Good on you, mate. Great to speak to you. You love your local footy, and that is tremendous. There'll be a lot of listeners who could really relate to you out there today, and good luck for the year ahead, and just continue to mount up the games.
Yeah, thanks for having me. No worries.
Thanks for joining us, Wayne.
Fuller is our SFL sleuth out there, and a man, Ben, who just covers some miles. That is extraordinary.
Amazing. Yeah, I bumped into Wayne out at Ascot Vale versus Avondale Heights, I think, about 2 or 3 years ago, and sort of just kept in touch with him. I love that about local footy.
We're just mentioning at the start, before we get to Dane Swan, the Danny Cassette SMS competition. We're going to read these out a little bit later on. There are some good ones coming through. What's the prize again? 0433 98 11 16. He was our guest on the show last week. Was going to finish the segment with a line, and he just decided to pull the pin. And our reaction at the start of the show today is, what was he going to actually say at the end? What's the prize?
Yeah, we would love the audience to finish the sentence, and the prize will be a $500 merchandise voucher for your club of choice.
Okay, that is not a bad price. Keep them coming. 0433 98 11 16. Well, the resume is vast of our next guest, of course. Three-time Copeland Trophy winner, AFL Media Player of the Year a couple of times. He's been twice the Herald Sun Player of the Year, of course. Brownlow medalist, Jim Steins medal, Premiership player. Gee, where does it stop? Lee Matthews Trophy, AFL PA MVP. We speak of the Collingwood champ, Dane Swan, who joins us here on the local locker room. Dane, thanks for coming on.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
It looks as though you and former teammate Daisy Thomas are chasing Group 1 glory and want the local footy club to jump on for the ride. Blue Moon being the vehicle that they can do that with, would that be right?
Yeah, mate. Absolutely. Obviously, me and Tomo have an interest in horse racing like most local footballers and like all footballers, I suppose. But got together with a couple of mates and started up Blue Moon Racing, so it's a bit of fun. Use it for a lot of social activities as well, and we like to get the races and have a bit of fun, and so we watch a couple of horses win. And
Blue Moon has a number of strings to its bow. I understand you have a horse running today as well as a small little punters club that's on. The horse running today, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, it's To Infinity that runs at Kilmore in the 7th or something like that. Hopefully it wins. That'd be nice. I'm not going yet. I got back from Wangaratta a lot late last night, so a bit of couch time for me today, mate. But I think a couple of boys are going down there, so hopefully it's worth the drive down and gives us something.
Very nice, Dan. We'll talk about the Pies in just a moment, but we did speak with Jason Neve last week, who we couldn't believe it was at the Kangaroo Island Cup. I didn't even know it existed. Together with Sports Support, of course, they've brought together the Punters Club, which I think's fantastic. Just another way for punters to be connected to Blue Moon Racing. The local footy connection, I think that's great, and a lot of local clubs could really benefit out of it. And I mean, obviously, I don't know how much local footy you get to throughout the course of the year, but you understand the challenges that they've got. So tell us how you think these two can be really connected quite well.
Yeah, well, I try and get to... Obviously, it's a bit tough with me playing on the weekends to try and get to what I can, but I do what I can. I love to go watch my mates play locally, and I'll just certainly play local footy when my time at the top level is done. But I suppose, like all local footy clubs, we like a beer and a bet, and just to try and bring the two together for have a bit of fun and try and win a little bit of cash never hurts. So it's all in good fun and it's all responsible. So get involved and try and have some fun.
We understand that the social side of Blue Moon is just as important as the racing itself. You enjoy cheering home the winners with all the owners. You get out to the races as much as you can. Yeah, no doubt, mate. When we can, with especially me and Tomo, or pretty much anyone that's involved in Blue Moon, we certainly go out as much as we can and try and go have a look and watch the horses run around, because it's good fun. We like getting out there and meeting new people, and it's just enjoyable for us. So it doesn't feel like it's a pain in the ass or anything like that. So we get out there and we enjoy. We like interacting with people. So so it's no trouble at all for us. We really enjoy it. And one of the things that have brought great joy, Anya Keithy, the People's Champ, he's forced a few tears from the Blue Moon director's eyes, Benny Vay. Must be a great feeling to just be a part of this close-knit group away from football. Yeah, absolutely. It's not great to be a part of when Benny starts crying and gets real emotional and breaks down. But I suppose that's just, he's something he's really passionate about and loves Blue Moon, and it's obviously, like I said, he's something he's very passionate about, and he loves the horses, so and so do we. He's got a bit of a cult following now on Keithy, but we're all good mates, and anyone who comes on board, all of our mates are involved in some of our horses, one shape or another. So it's great. We all get together. We get buses down to the country races, wherever they are, wherever they may be, when time permitting, and we get down there and have a bit of a laugh and have a bet. But we're just good mates, like to have a good time. So that's pretty much exactly what it is. We'll give some more details about Blue Moon Racing in just a moment. Dan, you said you'd come back from Wangaratta, a big hit out, of course, against the Tigers yesterday. Great crowd. I made the comment with Rowan Connolly that I'd love to see all the NAB Challenge games sort of go to these areas, because it is fantastic for the locals to see you guys up close. You did lose the game, but just what was sort of the post-mortem to yesterday? Yeah, mate, it was great. Everyone was really, all the fans were really supportive up there. It was, like you said, a pretty big crowd, and the people were great. They really got behind the game up there. So, it'd be great to see more AFL clubs play up there during the NAB Cup or anywhere in rural Victoria, because they obviously don't get to see the AFL much up in wherever they're from. But
with the game, we sort of faded a bit late. We obviously some positive and negatives to take out of it. We had a quick chat about it after the game, but obviously we had a 3.5 hour bus ride home, so we didn't spend too much time after the game dissecting it. But that'll come tomorrow. That'll come tomorrow with training, and we'll dissect and go through what we need to work on, and obviously what we did well. But it's not the be all and end all, I suppose. For me personally, I got my first run under my legs, so pulled up pretty well. So I've got one more to go before the proper season starts. But we haven't lost any points yet. We haven't gained any, but obviously you like to win every game you play. Unfortunately, we faded a bit in the last quarter, which is very disappointing. But we'll move on pretty quickly from that. We've got to wake up on the Gold Coast now to put in some solid training, and then a game to finish off with the Gold Coast on Sunday, and then 2 weeks till we play Freo on Friday night. So a pretty exciting time coming up. Just get through the next game, and then round one will come pretty quickly.
Dane, just one last one. There was a bit to like. Just the forward setup obviously has been a bit of a talking point. We know the midfield strength at Collingwood, but Jesse White coming in, and whether Ben Reid, how much time he's going to play sort of forward, back, maybe be that swingman throughout the year. But a couple of important extra foils to Travis Clegg. I think the Collingwood fans will be quite encouraged about that in the first couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Reedy is an All-Australian centre-half back, so. We know he can play down there, and I think Bucks said he'd like to play him forward at some stage, shoot, and I think he kicked 5 straight yesterday, so that proves how important he can be for us. And I think Jesse really helps us too. He's probably a bit more mobile and quick than the 2 other big guys, so he can get around the ground pretty quickly, and he can play a bit further up the ground, and takes a little bit of the pressure off Trav. He doesn't have to be the be all and end all up forward. Jesse kicked 4 or 5 last week, and Reedy kicked 5 on the weekend, so it takes a lot of pressure off Trav, even though there's no doubt Trav's our number one forward, and we certainly expect him to play like that this year. But if we can help him a little bit this year with Reedy and Jess, that should hopefully help us go into September.
Great stuff, Dane. Nice to spend a few moments with you. Blue Moon Racing, you're involved in that with your former Collingwood teammate Daisy Thomas. We'll plug that a little bit more before we wrap up the local locker room. And all the best, mate. One more hit out, or a couple more hit outs, and then the season proper. It's not too far away. Really appreciate your time.
No worries, boys. Thanks very much.
Dane Swan, the Collingwood superstar, joining us. So just those details quickly before we get to our local legend, Ben. The Blue Moon Racing, all the details are on the website. Yeah,
you can join the Punters Club. So if the local teams want to be involved with Blue Moon Racing, you can go to sportsupport.com.au. Click on the Punters Club tile, and then from there we'll make contact with a whole range of people. All
right, the local legend series. Keep those SMSs coming through about Danny Cassette as well. 0433 98 11 16. We're about to give away a $500 voucher, but each week, of course, Ben, we've been featuring a local legend. I've enjoyed this part of the show from a selected competition from across Melbourne. We put out the feelers via the Eastern Football League Forum and support from the local locker room's very own GMAC. And who have we been able to track down?
We'll look through GMAC and through the EFL Forum. We're able to track down 1, not 2, not 4, but a whole range of really, really good people. Unfortunately, none of them were available, so we had to go with these 2 blokes. So we've now got with us Fish and Geordie. Very, very highly recommended, mate. Welcome to the show, guys.
G'day, how are you, guys?
Very well, very well.
We've got that Fish or Geordie?
Fish.
Fish. Geordie, you're there as well?
Yes, I am, Brett.
Oh, nice to have you both on, boys.
Well, let's start with you, Warren. It's been claimed, when asked who is the toughest player the hard man of Hawthorn Football Club, Don Scott, has ever seen, he replied Warren Thomas. Is there any truth to this rumour?
Yeah, he did say that, but being an Essendon supporter, I can understand why he bypassed his Hawthorn teammates.
Hey, just on Don Scott. Now, can I just say, I was involved at Doncaster Heights Junior Footy Club a number of years ago. We used to use Don Vale's ground, and Don was coaching. I just want to ask you about being coached by... you would have been there, boys, when Don Scott was coaching?
Absolutely.
That would have been a unique experience. I mean, he didn't have a great win-loss record, Don, did he? I think he coached South Adelaide and might have been down at Portsea or Sorrento. What was it like being coached by Don Scott, who's a bit of an eccentric character?
Yeah, it was different. I actually enjoyed it. He was upfront and honest. He told you if you were playing shit house or not.
Yes. We'll let that go through to the keeper. Keep it nice, boys. We are on radio. Yeah, he was pretty straight down the line. I imagine that from Don Ben. He would have been interesting to play under.
Oh, look, he would have been. I'm certain he would. And I suppose there's been a couple of other rumours that have come off the forum as well, that Vermont Football Club put in an application to council to ban you from entering the suburb after tearing him a new one in the 1996 Grand Final. Is there any truth behind that?
I don't know, but who knows? They could have, because I haven't been through that suburb since 1996.
Fair enough.
You
did play in 8 premierships over the journey, at almost every level, ranging from the Churches League through to Division 1 AFL Grand Final. Is there one in particular that stands out?
Yeah, over there, mate. 8. One was in the Churches in '89. We were down by about 4 goals in the time on, and the opposition supporters were in the grandstand singing their song, and we ended up kicking 5 goals in the time on and won the game. And that was a good win, and obviously the 96 against Vermont.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's probably the pinnacle, mate. Are you still involved with local levels, Warren?
Yeah, I've coached under 14s at Donvale this year, and prior to that I coached juniors for 6-7 years and had a year off last year, and back into it again this year.
Okay, how's things looking at Donvale? I mean, you've been on an interesting journey, Donvale Footy Club. I've been sort of in Division 1 and then sort of gone down, and I mean, it's tough, isn't it, sort of, going through the divisions. That can be dependent on personnel and coaching. And, I remember the days when, Billy McCormack was out there coaching. It's a great ground out at Donvale, but how are things looking for this year?
Yeah, it's not too bad. They're just at the moment putting in a pre-season. As I've got 2 girls that play netball, so I don't get up there that much to see the seniors or be involved with the seniors. But all I know is they're up there doing their pre-season and hopefully have a good year.
And this one over to Geordie, if you're still with us, Geordie. As far as being involved at local levels, mate, you're involved with about 400 kids across the Donvale Juniors. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, mate. We've upped the ante with our Oz kickers. Got 120 plus Oz kickers, about 300 juniors. We're very close to fielding a team in every age group after having a couple of gaps last year. So we could have 8 to 9 junior teams, which is pretty amazing for our area, for our demographic. So, a lot of work's gone into that. And we'll, obviously, you just can't drop the ball. You've got to continue to work hard and keep getting kids, not only get them to play Oz kick and get them into those younger levels, but also keep them enthused going through to 17s and 19s when there's other things that might seem a little bit more important, like girls and other things. So we try to keep them, a positive pathway through to the senior club.
Look, the club has been reported that it's working through some tough times at the moment, but obviously with such a strong development division or program in place, things can turn around pretty quickly. Would you be confident?
Absolutely. I mean, there's 15 under-19s who were top age last year. We won the flag last year in the under-19s in second divvy, and they're all committed. All of them are committed to the senior club, but unfortunately we've lost a few older blokes, and we just need to get a few big old bodies, older bodies running around with these kids, and the future looks really good. As I said, the junior program flowing through is looking really positive, and it's just a matter of time when the junior club's actually 10 years old this year. Prior to that, we didn't have any juniors.
Geez, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We're flying as far as the juniors go, but we've just got to make sure the seniors are up and about and viable as well, so we can, as I said, sell that positive pathway.
Now, we always close this segment with the 1, 2, 3 votes, and we've got 2 guys on the line, so I'm going to throw to you first here, Geordie.
Mm-hmm.
This should be a challenge. Who's the toughest player and hardest player you've ever seen?
Well, obviously the bloke sitting next to me was a bit of a hard one. He could dish it out, and he never whinged when he copped it back. But to play in 8 flags, you've got to be a pretty handy footballer as well. So I obviously have a lot of respect for him. But as far as opposition goes, obviously the Cullens at Vermont and Froud and Mullet were all great players. But the one I'd probably put just ahead of anyone is Dennis Knight. He was just an amazing footballer.
Yeah. And we'll throw this one over to you, Warren. Who's the best player you've played against or matched up against?
Geez. Goes off the top of my head at the moment because I normally had about 4 or 5 on me.
But, Danny Cassette.
I'm only joking. Giza from Vermont was a very hard player to match up on.
Yeah, okay. And it's a bit of a toss of the coin for this one, so we'll toss the coin here in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like you've won, Geordie. So 3 votes for the footy trip hero, mate.
Well, again, I don't want to pump up his tyres, but he's the only man ever to win King of the Trip and Queen of the Trip on the 1 year.
Right.
So, and we won't go into graphic details, but it was quite a memorable footy trip. I think, how many you been on, Fish?
22.
22. That's some sort of record.
Footy trip. That's what it's all about. A lot of blokes love getting to the end of the year just to go to the footy trip. Boys, thank you very much for joining us. Our first double act as part of our local Legend Series, and best of luck to the mighty Donvale Footy Club in 2014.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, guys.
Brett, Ben, and can I do a shout-out to my daughters? That's what they call it for the younger kids, shout-outs.
Go on.
Taylor and Jade.
Beautiful stuff. Taylor and Jade. There you go. I got a mention from Dad.
Yeah.
Thank you, boys. Our local Legend Series for this week. Just before we go, now we're going to give away a $500 voucher here. I've picked 3. 3 comments regarding what was Danny Cassette going to finish his segment with last week. K-Pax and Carlton. Danny was going to say, hey guys, Kevin Sheedy approached me to mentor the young kids. You've got to vote the winner here. Danny Cassette was going to announce that he was going to have a hot dog eating contest with Evo, and if Evo wins, Cassette will suit up for Wyndham Vale. That's from Mickey out in the burbs. And then one other comment, Danny was going to just say, I just want to clarify that the rumours that have followed my career recently are not true, and that's from Stephen Radford. I think it's a winner, been out of that lot.
Well, I think in the context of it all, and to add a little bit of humour, it looks like Mickey the Juice has taken away the $500.
All right, so Mickey the Juice, if you can give us a call back, 9429 1116, and we'll sort out our prize. First time ever SMSer into the local locker room. Good to chat to you, mate. Sportsupport.com.au. People can log on to the Facebook tile during the week and continue the footy discussion.
You certainly can, and also vote on those top 10 from around your league. Those top 3 will then go into our Hall of Fame, and they will be invited by AFL Victoria to go along to the Metro Championships.
Terrific stuff. Sportsupport.com.au. If you're a local footy club, jump on and have a look during the week. They'll be able to help you out. That is the local locker room.